cancer is so aggressive that I've never been on a drug that's lasted more than 6 months. I usually know there's about a shelf life of 6 months before it stops working, and then some of them don't even work that long, and some of them work maybe like a couple weeks longer. But because of that, in 4 years, I had run through every standard of care drug that there was out there, plus multiple clinical trials that I had been on. I'm Robin Miller, and I have metastatic breast cancer, which means that it never goes away and that it will kill me probably very soon. I developed lymphedema, which is a side effect of breast cancer treatments, and also something that people have from not just breast cancer, any type of cancer, but people are also born into it. I got diagnosed 12 years ago, but since getting lymphedema and everything, most of my working career has been spent working with patients with lymphedema. I met Erin McAdams shortly after I moved here, actually. We had become really close, and she had just like became this person that I relied on for everything, so we joked that she was my life partner. I had been working in North Carolina at my job, like on site for a couple of weeks, and I came back and the drug I was on wasn't working anymore, and that I was going back on IV chemo. That was it. That was like all I really had. So basically I was going on chemo and I wasn't coming back off of it. The night when my doctor told me this, and it was like the first time my doctor had ever like talked to me about dying, actually, and she said, well, you'll just start to get really tired and one day you'll just go to sleep and you won't wake up again. And I was like, wait, did you just tell me how I was gonna die? Because that's kind of not what I was expecting to happen. And luckily my dad was here, and my dad has been like my rock. Like, he is everything. He's been like the best support system ever. I told Erin that, because she always wanted to know what happened at all my appointments and everything, and, we were just, like, super close about stuff. I texted her and told her that, like, my appointment didn't go well, and that, my doctor talked to me about dying for the first time, and all this stuff, and so she came over after work that day, and I was crying to Erin about it, and she's like, I'm not letting your dad sit by himself at, like, waiting for you for surgery, which I just thought was like the sweetest thing ever. And also told me that she wasn't going to be able to concentrate at work, so there was no way that it didn't matter. Like, even if she went to work, she was going to be thinking about me the whole time, so it made more sense for her to be there. I guess I just realized that for some reason, like, I had always wanted to get married, and I realized it just wasn't going to happen because, I thought I had maybe one chemo left in me, which would be, 6 months if I was lucky, and she was like, of course you're going to get married, because we're going to get married. Erin's like, she works a lot of jobs, and she has put herself through school and was still finishing school while all this was going on, and she texted me one day and told me that she was coming over and she made me something, and she gives me one of these, which is a wooden ring that she made. So we started planning a wedding. It was the best day of my whole life, honestly. It just was perfect.
This my excavation
This ring I do it, and all I have, I honor. You were my yesterday, you were my today. Have the whole to cherish and respect. I am my gift to you. Sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live.
safe.
During those 2 months, the cancer pretty much spread everywhere. They put me back on chemo and trying to shrink things down, and I think because of the taste, like, my body was just done. December. And after that, I kind of had a big conversation with my dad and decided that I didn't want to continue to do chemo very long. And I wanted to like go on a couple of trips and stuff, so I was trying to use chemo just as like a means to an end. And my doctor kept cutting back how much I was getting, trying to make it more tolerable. But every time I went on a trip, it was kind of awful. It's one of those things that like when you know that chemo is going to stop working at some point, like you either make the decision and go out when it's still working so that you have a best chance of having like some good time afterwards, or you ride it out until the chemo stops working. But once it stops working, then everything progresses and gets worse, so you tend to have more side effects and everything and more problems. When I decided to stop chemo, that's when I planned the trip to Europe. And we did this crazy whirlwind sort of trip. We planned it and kind of jumped around to a bunch of different countries, and it was sweet. My mom got to meet people that have been in my life for a long time or that are important to me that she'd never met before. I don't know. I think that I want my family to be okay, you know, and I think I've been trying so hard since I decided to stop chemo to try and make sure that they're going to be okay. I guess that, you know, I'm thankful for everything that they've done, and for being here for me and supporting me, and I don't know, like, I want to say that I'll be okay, but who knows? Like, I don't really know what happens after this. Like, I'm not really a religious person at all, but I've always had like weird ideas of, you know, maybe like reincarnation, or there's got to be something better than this crap, you know? And I hope that the next one is better if I get to have another one. You know, this one's been hard. It's been 12 years of cancer and treatments, and even when I was, you know, technically in remission, you know, I was still taking all the meds, and that were supposed to keep me there, and I've never just like really felt good. There's never, in all the years, you know, it's never just like you're a normal person. And it's a thing that I've talked to a lot of patients about, where like people, they try and tell you to like go back to normal, but like there is no like 100% normal after cancer. There's just like, I guess, your life after cancer. It's, you know, you can try and do whatever you want, but it's never 100%, and it's never the way it was before. At the end of the day, it's going to be the worst thing that they're going to have to deal with, and I am lucky in a way that like I get to just go to sleep and not wake up and not have to be in pain anymore and not have to deal with it anymore, and they're going to have to deal with all of it, and that really sucks for them, and I wish I could make it better. You know, I guess I've talked to a lot of patients over the years, and I've made a lot of contacts, and you know, I guess it's nice to know that I've helped people, and I hope that people think of me fondly or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it changed my whole life, having cancer and having lymphedema. Like, I think I would have just been a designer, and I would have been happy. I always give all the credit to my doctor, because I know for a fact that I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her. You know, not only does she help us, but the fact that she's like so forward thinking and so like good at this, you know, what she does. Like, I strongly believe if there ever is a cure for cancer, that it's going to be because of Dr. Rugo. And if I make it to my next birthday, you know, it will be because of her. I think she's like one of the best chances that people have, and early detection and all of that is great, and finding it early and trying to treat people and minimize things and trying keeping it from becoming metastatic is fantastic. But in the last 30 some years, the survival rate for metastatic cancer on like average has only gone up by a year and a half. I strongly believe that I owe my life to Pope Rugo, and that she is going to be like, if she's not the one, she will be right there with the people that, if there's ever a cure, it will be because of her. So, thank you to her.
There is a and it's been the ruin of many poor souls. Deep down